It's the final countdown.
And
Do
it's
do 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 do
doo-doo-doo-doo-doo,
do do
doo-doo-doo-doo.
do do. That it. I al- music. I love music. Okay, let's start
Totally,
off.
totally.
Okay,
This is
let's.
great.
We're here. We're finally in here. It's been a long day. Gratitude.
Gratitude.
I'm grateful for my new sign.
I love it. I love your new sign. It's
I'm grateful for
fantastic.
the car that got us to the store.
Yeah.
For the people that just printed it out super fast. I'm grateful for everybody listening in because how motivating is that?
It's awesome. I'm telling you, I am so grateful for all of this. I'm so grateful for just everybody digging it and really the feedback and the views and the excitement to it. It keeps my engine running,
It's kind of what
you know.
caused all of this to happen today, down to the sign.
Yeah, the sign. I'm so grateful for the sign. It's
So this
awesome.
is episode
Neat.
11. John, take it away.
I'm telling you, this is welcome again to another episode of Plantspiration Unplugged. We're John and Stefanie Ignoffo, founders of Plantspiration. And we started that to help people prevent and reverse disease by going a whole food plant-based lifestyle. And we're going to also save some animals and help out the planet at the same time. So rock on.
I love it. People are telling me that you're crushing the intro.
All right.
That's right. People know us for losing 250 pounds as a family, reversing our own chronic diseases, and now people know us for the Plantspiration nonprofit,
Hmm.
preventing and reversing disease, teaching people how to crush it too. Thank you guys so much. Remember to subscribe, like, share, and
Yeah.
oh my gosh, thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. I'm
Thank
serious. The
you.
numbers, the numbers
This
don't lie.
the numbers got us so excited.
Uh-huh.
We started getting a little crazy. Well, at least I did. I was like, we're gonna need a bigger sign.
We're gonna need a bigger boat.
Well, actually,
Yeah,
what started off with was I
that's
said, as
great.
soon as Thursday came around and we started, like all of a sudden the podcast, I was like, whoa, there's a lot of views on this.
Hmm.
And I was like, whoa, did you just see that?
I
Where
know.
you're like rubbing your eyes, like, did that
Yeah,
number
exactly.
just jump from this to this?
Hmm.
And I was like, John, it's happening. We're gonna need the podcast sign,
Yeah,
the
we had to get
logo.
this sign because the views are rocking and rolling. People are digging it. That last episode were probably about, oh, it'll be like probably 3,600 views.
What?
Yeah, by the time we're done recording this,
It wasn't even that much when I wrote this down. I
I
was
know
like,
I had to redo the number.
oh my gosh, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in and listening to this week. What a
Yeah.
week we've had. But it started with we're gonna need to get a sign. And then yesterday we picked up a sign.
Yeah,
This is kind of why
it was a little sign
we're
though.
in here a little bit later today because we got so excited. I was like, we
Hmm.
have to have a sign. And I pick up the sign from Walmart. They print it out.
Whoopsie.
Could
Well,
you
it was a smaller
could you
sign.
see me when I was
It
coming
was
out of
only
the
half the
store?
size
Could
of
you
the
tell?
regular. Well, yeah. Well, by the thing you were holding, I'm like, oh, wow, I got the wrong size. It's some little thing.
So this morning, of course, I was like, do you think that we could order a bigger
I'm
sign?
like,
Like,
yeah,
I'm so excited. And then
they do it same day.
the numbers kept climbing. So now he was like,
I'm
should we
like,
do
we
it
need to
today?
kind I'm gonna do it right now. I'll get the sign before we
Exciting.
record today. It was great. So, anyways, this is our sign for you those of you on YouTube, and
Thank you so
soon
much.
I'll do the we'll do the video on Spotify
Is this some
pretty
graphic
soon.
design or is this some graphic
Telling you.
design?
Another great logo by Stephanie Ignoffo.
Yeah, I was just looking at a regular logo when we were talking about doing the podcast, and I thought,
Hmm. We need
hmm,
one in here.
we need a name for the podcast, and
Yep.
that kind of started happening, and
Hmm.
I just kind of it just popped in my head. Like I really think that people would love hearing about us being unplugged. Where
Hmm.
does this sound right? Do I hear
Yeah.
something in the background?
You sound good. Do you
Do I
need?
sound crispy?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah. Oh,
that's
there.
whoa.
Ooh,
That
yeah.
seemed a little like, oh, how you
I
doing?
might have bumped that knob a little bit.
Um, so
There we go.
this was just the logo that I had on one of our books. Remember for the
Hmm.
board, I got everybody like a
Yeah.
notebook and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
So I just looked right at it
Yeah,
that day and
right?
I thought, you know what? Instead of having to eat to live underneath, maybe
Hmm.
this is a great like unplugged. And, you know,
Unplugged. I'm
I
telling you,
drew
it's
the
great.
plug and then from there you're looking at the logo for
Hmm.
Plantspiration Unplugged, the podcast.
Heck yeah.
We keep talking each week about these steps on how to become successful, whether it's, teaching people how to prevent and reverse disease, lose weight. We're kind of conquering the things that hold people talk about all the time. Well, you have all the tools to be successful and,
Right.
we're we're giving them everything they need, or what do you do once you have everything, all the tools you need, and you're still not getting it done?
Yeah,
That was
I
a big
mean,
topic this week.
no, that was huge. I mean, it was so good. Like going, I gotta tell you, I listened to your Thursday Thrive again, like again, because I
Did you
was
like
there
it?
while it was live. Yeah, it was just great. It was great. I know it was just really good with the feedback from people of just while you're in there and just how you're teaching them. And then I see all your coaching skills, like I say, come out, where
Nice, thank you.
on Saturday people are crushing it. And this is like way more than just the food. I mean, I'm not even
True.
talking about that. This is like just good information of how to go after what you want to go after. Anything in life.
Exactly.
It's like the same
Um,
set of skills or the same
it's like there's these steps to take to
bullet
be
points, you know?
successful, I guess, or to overcome obstacles. And well, thank you for that about the live.
Yeah, that
What
was
I
fantastic.
do
There
is,
were just so many good spots. I'm like seriously trying to think of one
well, this is how this
that
all started. Just
special.
getting in here, this is how it all started.
Hmm.
You know, I wanted to kind of show everybody in the group when you want to go for something and you want something, you know, watch us do it. Watch us start a podcast. Watch us um make this happen and overcome the obstacles that come with it. And like last week we talked about intrinsic motivation, what keeps us going. And
Right.
I realized I was really like being a buzzkill, kind of putting
Hmm.
too many ideas out there or too many notes and too much organization, I guess, of my thought process spilled out into the room. And we got into that, and then what goes on is through the week, I kind of hear people talking about what their obstacles are or what's going on that they're not making things happen.
Right. What do you call that? What is that called?
Sometimes it's just called procrastination. We put a number. It's never lazy. So that's something people always say to me, like, "Well, it's because I'm lazy," or they'll say because I'm lazy.
Hmm.
No, this isn't anything to do with that. It says nothing. I wasn't
And sometimes
lazy
you
when
don't
I
even.
started this. We weren't lazy because we got overweight and we got sick, and you know,
Right. That
it
just kind of
wasn't
happened.
about that. Yeah, it just kind of happened, and the food takes a huge impact to how you feel
Hmm.
all around. In your gut. We talked a lot about that this week too.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
did hit on a lot of topics
Yeah.
during the week. So by the time, Thursday comes around, I do the Thursday Thrive. I do a little recap of class. I talk about how important fiber is. And I'm listening to, the feedback from everybody
Hmm.
throughout the week. And I said, we're going to do a little talk on overcoming action resistance, or
Yeah.
also
That was
known,
that. That was what you
yeah,
called it.
also known as like procrastination or self-sabotage.
Like,
A
yeah.
lot of people are kind of sitting on the sidelines at the gym and just watching people do it. And I don't want to see anybody going through all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
I don't want to see you on the bench.
No, I want
Get in
to,
the game.
yeah, there's
But there's tools, and you help people with the tools. I mean, I skipped right to the Thursday, but I mean, it's been a great week.
it's been a great week. We've been using it. And what I'm talking about also in my coaching calls or when I do my coaching
Hmm.
lives, like I tell people, you're watching us do it right here in front of this podcast. Okay,
Hmm.
you have to start somewhere. Everybody has to start at the beginning somewhere. Nobody just. I mean, there's prodigies, of course, where you can play
Hmm.
piano and you become an expert overnight. I mean,
Right,
there's
right.
those cases, but in general, you got to kind of work at what you want, and you have to learn how to overcome the obstacles and
Yeah, this was an obstacle with the podcast. Like I wanted to do it so bad, but it seemed like I had my own
fear,
fear of everything, of a lot
feel
of
of
things.
fear of failure, fear
Yeah.
of judgment. That gets to a
Yeah,
lot of people.
exactly. Like people are listening to this,
Even
know?
a lot of
A
people,
lot.
um, which I like a lot, and
That's
I'm really
awesome.
grateful for that. So
Hmm.
I shift right over to that, like, oh yeah, there's exciting stuff going on. So you better pay attention and don't get distracted. And
Yeah.
um, a lot of people have all the tools, whether it's losing weight and or whether it's finding something that you love and becoming really good at it.
Mm.
Riding my bike, going on the roller skates.
Yeah.
Of course, fear of failure when I put the camera on, like, what if I fall? What if I do this?
Right, right.
You have to kind of learn to overcome that stuff. Actually, I will talk about the 7 tips to overcome procrastination or action resistance. We'll talk about it, but we could also break it down while we're talking a little bit about this week. How was your week, by the way?
Um, it was great. I mean, it was pretty chill, just machining, got a couple jobs done, shipped them out.
It
Um,
seemed busy this week. It did
yeah,
seem busy. Like we
yeah.
had the classes going on. I know you've got jobs coming in on top of that. So it was like, let's just make sure we have dinner planned. Let's make sure we've got our work done. I was really good about getting organized this week with my schedule, my calls, even down to the time where free time, time to unwind, by
Hmm.
a certain time, I'm done.
Definitely, definitely.
I wake up early though and kind of get pumped up
Yeah.
starting with something like
I
this.
just want to look at I didn't have my headphones on. Is this thing recording?
Oh, geez.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, there it is.
Hey, I
S-
gotta know.
Stuff happens. So that original fear of failure or judgment, there it is. You just overcame it.
Yeah,
Hey, what are you
hey,
gonna,
what are you gonna do? I'm gonna go check it out and see that it is.
the old us might have said, oh, start over,
Yeah.
redo it,
Hmm.
cut. We don't have time for any of
No,
that.
I'm not
So
editing this stuff, so
getting over some of that stuff or lack of self-belief, that's a big one
yeah.
with
Yeah, yeah,
people.
yeah. Holy cow.
And again, just starting off to lose weight, I didn't think about what if I didn't do it or how come it's not coming off fast enough or maybe there's always going to be lack of self-belief. There's always going to be that stuff, but I want to inspire people to overcome doing some of that stuff. I brought them up here just to kind of go over it because I did get such good feedback.
It was
Yeah,
really a
look at
great, great
I
live.
just realized I'm talking about work again.
Well,
I'm talking about work again.
yeah, but this is kind of our life, though. We love doing this. I mean, I don't know how else to explain it. It doesn't feel like work. So we're just like helping people and it feels fantastic. And I just want to keep doing it. So I guess we're talking about work, even though we're unplugged. It's our life, though.
I think I got excited because I started hearing the numbers and I was like, whoa, people want to get healthier and people are listening
Yeah.
in. And how do I make sure that they're getting excited to listen to this? And, in the middle of all this, I got great feedback
Hmm.
over that talk on Thursday,
Thursday, yeah.
getting over some of that stuff. And this is to motivate people. This is to show them we have overcome some stuff and we do face obstacles. It took us a long time to get in here today.
Right. And if I could say
I'd
what
love
we're
for you to
talking
say
about on Thursday, the Thursday lives that you do is kind of a group coaching, really. I mean, you go through and you have your topics and it's great. It's private, in the Plantspiration membership. So you got to get in there and check it out, you guys.
it
It's
is.
awesome.
It's awesome because it's exciting to see everybody. And we're going to break
Hmm.
down that too. We keep a Plantspiration health report where each week we're logging in.
Hmm.
People are checking in. And even this morning, we're like, you're gonna crap your plants off.
I know, because it's like an auto form thing that people fill out. So
Keep
I
doing
was
it.
excited when I opened. I was like, "Holy cow,
You
this
guys,
is
thank you so much.
this is
I mean,
a lot more than
this
it was last week. This is
this
great."
is super exciting. So anytime there's that
Mhm.
fear or that disbelief or doubt that you have or negative thinking or all those things that are going on, there's many ways to overcome it. One of them is I always wake up to the numbers or I go to the numbers and
Yeah.
I think about like the impact that this is making, having everybody, maybe we're making you laugh or maybe we're making you realize, hey, our doctor isn't telling us that you could actually go whole food, plant-based, learn how to make diet and lifestyle
Hmm.
changes and prevent and reverse disease. I mean, right
Yeah.
there, there's not enough people talking about it mainstream. So that is why we're doing this. We're wanting to,
Hmm.
inspire people to go for what they want, get inspired. But even when I did that interview on was like the seat and like front row entrepreneur,
Yeah.
and
Hmm.
she's like, you got to come on here and talk about,
Hmm.
how you're doing it. And I was like, oh, well, there's no way I'd be doing it if it wasn't for eating the plants and making these lifestyle
Hmm.
changes and practicing all this stuff. So we
There's a
pretty much,
lot of things.
there's a lot of things that are going on in there, but it was a busy week. We're going into this week now. Our fo We had a lot. Listen, it's
Mhm.
hard to not keep thinking about it because it's so darn exciting.
Thinking about what?
Just everything that we just went through this week. We're
Hmm.
just winding down kind of in here, kind of taking it in. Yesterday was listening to more people talking about how great they're doing.
Yep, yep.
Thursday, we've got this.
That's on our Saturday support group. That's
Yeah, I'm seeing
awesome.
the
Yep.
repercussions from that. I mean, people started talking about like leave them a Google review. I mean, look
Yeah,
what's going
right.
on. Then all of a sudden the Google review started
That's
blowing up.
awesome.
I just am,
I'm so excited. I mean, it's just great. It just keeps
it's in here taking in that
going.
moment, I guess, where we're talking about it, realizing like, look at what this started and look at where it's going. And now we're able to reach more people. More people are listening to how to how to crush it is what I tell people. How
Really,
to
I
crush
know.
it.
And I was thinking about that. I mean,
I'm hot
really,
and cold.
the whole healthier part is, well, I'll move your heater closer
No,
to
it's
you.
okay.
The being healthier part is like it is it's just about having more life, and the life you do have.
I brought these in here.
What are those?
These, I was I was looking for
We got
something.
extra sweatpants or something?
No, but it's kind of talking about what we're doing here. And sometimes I keep some of my old stuff, and I know people can't see this on
Oh,
Spotify
right,
or
right.
Apple or anything like that,
Not
but
yet.
these were my old pajamas that I pulled out.
Oh.
This,
I remember
they're
those.
like double. I
Yeah.
could go in my body. My body could go in each of my legs of these pants.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I keep this stuff around as those reminders,
All you did was change the way you were eating and move, and that
Well,
changes
that
your
all
mind.
it came in a different order. I mean, I changed
Hmm.
the way we ate dramatically. That's why
Right.
we're so passionate about what we do, where there's no confusion over how we're getting people to knock this weight off
Right.
and follow the evidence of what goes on. You know, and we went out to eat this week too. We usually don't
Yeah.
go out to eat, and we ate somewhere. And when I did ask, about no oil or, do you have anything like that?
You got
This
anything, that's no oil?
Yeah,
Hey,
I'm
just
asking. I don't want to make a big deal about it. I like to eat things on the lower fat range, just asking for future since I go out where I can refer.
can I tell him what he said?
Go ahead, tell them what. Yeah.
He said, "Well, this is like all we have mostly is comfort food." Um,
So, first of all, I just didn't, I just kind of listened to what he said and I just thought, all right, thanks. I'm just asking,
yeah, yeah.
because I'm going to refer people wherever I go.
Oh,
I'm going
yeah,
to
no
mention,
doubt,
hey,
no
this
doubt.
menu's got something that, if people are trying to
Hmm.
reverse heart
Hmm.
disease and they want to go out and they want to, turn people onto food, maybe have some options that are like that. So
Yeah,
when he said this is more like comfort food, I kind of thought, well, geez, all I'm eating every day feels like I'm getting
yeah,
the doll everybody's blowing
yeah,
up over that
yeah,
we taught in
exactly.
class last week.
It's
Like
comfort food.
the recipes that the lasagna, I mean, the tacos, the
Hmm.
pizza, the burgers. I I guess we were in that same place though at one point where we would have thought the same way, like,
Oh,
oh,
exactly. Yep.
there's nothing comforting about eating healthy.
Hmm.
That is the perspective that so many people do
Yeah, it's just.
start thinking, or we even thought is what I'm saying. Like
Oh, yeah, no,
we even thought
exactly.
about it, like, oh, we got to eat carrots and hummus,
Well,
and
I
that's
know
boring.
how much food we eat now. It's definitely not. Everything is comforting. I mean, we have delicious food all the time, so that kind of threw me off a little bit. I'm like,
Well, and it makes me want to kind of
I'll
talk.
have the club sandwich, please.
Yeah, it makes me want to, kind of let people know it's very comforting how we're eating. We're eating the same things, the same
Hmm.
flavors, but, we didn't know either. And that's why we're talking
Yeah,
about it.
yeah,
I mean, you name it. We're eating burgers, we're eating French fries, we're eating cheese fries, we're eating chili. What are we
yeah.
making this week?
Uh,
A super, well, we're
oh, I
talking
can't
about
wait. Yeah, that soup is gonna be good.
gratitude breakfast bowl. We're going to be
Hmm.
doing white bean and kale soup. And
Hmm.
hold on, I popped it off at the last minute in my mind what else I was going to do.
Yeah, I don't know,
A
but it's
chili, a spicy
oh
tofu
yeah. Oh
chili.
my gosh, can't wait. This is definitely we're deep into chili season, so yeah.
We got to have it. We love chili. And again, when we first started talking about going plant-based, it did start off very plain and very nothing, rice and
Hmm.
beans and salads and stuff like that. But we soon learned it was such a huge.
There's like
There's
so many
more
more
foods
food.
and
Yeah,
flavors that
exactly.
we've ever had in our entire life.
Hmm.
Cuisines, recipes. I mean, the options are endless. I mean,
Hmm.
look at how many classes we've taught.
Heck
Over
yeah.
300 classes, and we're still coming up with new recipes
Yeah.
every week
Yeah.
that are comforting
Exactly.
and healthy.
That's eat your plants off.
that or eat your plants off. Exactly. That was the other thing that we really started,
Hmm.
and that's what's going on. Everybody, by the way, at Plantspiration is absolutely crushing it. I mean,
Hmm.
let's just fast forward to the Plantspiration health report, to be quite honest with you, because
Really?
it is, yeah, look at the
I
numbers.
mean, when you see an it,
And give me a
we're
minute to
crushing
take a
it.
drink. Wait a second, say that again.
I said, if you see an it, we're crushing it because we're just crushing these numbers. Yeah, so I opened up this plant. Well, you really want to do this right off the gate? All right, all right. Our Plantspiration Health Report is brought to you by
Kind of,
Myers
yeah.
Grocery Store.
Ex Thank
Because
you.
you got your smoothie in
I'm
your hand.
chugging the smoothie right now. I
Mm.
want to get this in. This is just a good, you don't need to drink smoothies, by the way, to get healthy. It's just a way that
Mhm.
I love to do it, and so many people do love to do it, and there's a lot of evidence behind it.
Definitely. So I opened up the form you have that calculates all this stuff, and I was shocked. I had no last week, if I can say,
Let's go.
1,024 pounds last week.
Already, since we started the
1 week,
podcast, we've
yeah,
said,
yeah.
hey, you guys,
Whatever weight you've lost, the time you've been at Plantspiration, and
throw
then
it in.
weekly, whatever's been losing, other new people. Oh, hey,
We've been
yeah, I've
sharing it.
lost this much. I lost.
We've got a lot of new members, so it is, and
Hmm.
it's through the holidays we watch these numbers continue to soar.
Yeah, yeah. This week, 1 week later, from 1024, we're at 1,063 pounds.
Shut the front
Yeah,
door.
knocks. Yeah.
1,064 pounds.
That,
So
I mean, that is amazing. Come
give
on.
me those claps for sure. That's really impressive to see people, and this is the week that most people fall off. This is the week most people
Yep,
give up. This
yep.
is the week most people think, man, I've got all the tools I need. Why am I not just going at it and making it happen?
Yep.
So this was a big topic this week. And, once again, right in front of you guys, when we see these numbers like this,
Mm,
thank you to all the Plantspiration members that are
yeah,
checking in these numbers because somebody out there is thinking, that could be me.
that's
I
right.
could be a part of that. I want to be a part of that. You should be a part of that. We have, listen, we're the sickest country out there.
Yeah.
We have the highest industry of weight loss,
Hmm. Oh, yeah.
fitness, health. We've got the greatest healthcare system, the most advanced technology. Like we can detect it, we can find it, but they're not teaching people how to treat it,
No,
reverse it, prevent it. I mean, and that's what we hear over and over again from
that's right.
everybody. And that is why we're out here talking about it. A little bit unplugged about our life, of course,
That's right.
because
I
it's
mean,
funny.
yeah, and it's like we need, you need some medicines. Definitely people
Of
need medicines,
course,
and we're
they
not
saved my
getting any
life.
of that.
They saved your life.
It's just we gotta like really try to find the root cause and not just medicate the you know the
Well, we know what the root cause is. The
uh
evidence is there. It's the food, it's diet and
hmm.
lifestyle. It's diet and lifestyle. And more doctors are talking about it's diet and lifestyle. I mean, it's inevitable. We have to be critical thinking tells us when, that's what it is. What we're doing over here, though, look at what our mission statement is for Plantspiration, the nonprofit: educate, motivate, and inspire.
Yeah.
So there it is. That's 1,063 pounds already.
Yep.
That's amazing. Not to mention the amount of drugs that people are dropping,
Hmm.
the amount of health that they're gaining. Like I
Yeah.
said to people this week, we should be dying of old age.
Right.
Okay, that's what we were intended to do, of die of old age, not chronic diseases. That's something that comes from food. When I say chronic diseases, I'm not
Hmm.
talking about, you know, there's that's a loaded question right now because people
Well,
are going to
that's
go, well,
a
I
lot of
have,
chronic diseases.
people are going to say, well, I have heart disease. That's
Let's just
hereditary.
say 8 of the top 10 deaths in the country.
Are
Okay.
those are diet and lifestyle related diseases, basically.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
heart disease, food related. If heart disease, of course, is runs in families because what we learn to eat runs in
Right.
families. And
Exactly.
that's what we're also trying to explain to people, right
That's
away when
right.
people say I have heart disease, my dad had heart disease, the person before that. Yeah, because we all learned to eat this way and now we're going to do something different here
That's right.
because it doesn't need to be like that. It doesn't need to be like that. And we're making it fun too, by the way.
That's right.
People are cracking up in our class
They
like,
are.
you singing tomorrow. Where did that come
I
from?
don't know. It's
Hilarious.
just funny. But I mean, all of these things, no matter no matter if it's losing weight or learning how to do this or that, no matter what you're going after, you gotta really focus on how to
Overcoming,
do it and overcome these
use the
action
tools.
resistance and
Everybody gets it.
mhm.
We've been kind of using it to relate to ourselves too.
I'm telling you, I really relate a lot of that with the podcast. I mean, seriously.
Which one? When I go down my list, so I've got a
I,
list of here. I'll just
damn
tear
near
it off.
everyone. I mean,
Okay. I'll just tear it off so everybody knows what I'm talking about. So I said, number one, we have all the tools. What stops us from getting everything done? So fear of failure or judgment. I mean, that's real. Going out and doing videos and getting on a podcast and talking to everybody out here who's listening, we're normal. We're going to have I'm going to have the thoughts of, oh my God, what if somebody thinks this or says this? But I'm getting way more used to
what
it.
do you mean we're normal?
Well, I think everybody has that fear of failure when you
Oh
stand
yeah.
up and you
Oh,
do a
most
talk or
certainly.
you're going to do a podcast. I read the podcast
Yeah, it's a
subreddits or
little
the groups or
nerve-wracking.
whatever it is. Yeah, it gets nerve-wracking because they start thinking so much of what if people hear me say this and what if people hear,
Yeah, if you're kind of worried about that, it's hard to really give it all, be wholeheartedly into it because if you're worried about things, yeah,
but
it's
there's a way to let it go. There's a way to let it go. And that is one way people get stuck. Lack of
mm,
self-belief is another way.
mm,
And we can relate to that. You know what I mean?
yeah.
You said something like when you start something or everybody's new at something until they become an expert, or what did you
Yeah,
say?
every expert started off as a beginner, not knowing everything about what they're an expert in now. I mean, everybody starts somewhere. I mean, that's so cliche stuff, but so much of that is real, you know.
It is. You know what? As I'm going through this,
Mhm.
another example of we're just going to kind of rearrange it as it goes. I think I should address each of those so that we're not
Yeah,
wasting
yeah,
anybody's
yeah. I want
time.
to do
You know
that.
what I mean? Like if you're here, I want you to get inspired by something. I want you to think about like, oh, what could I do to keep on crushing it or to
Hmm.
get better at something? So I
Yeah,
basically broke these things down this week and everybody loved it. So let's talk about it. Fear of failure or judgment. I mean, that's real. What if I can't do it? What if I fail? What if this? What if that? You know,
that's the what ifs that are
is that what gets you
hard to
kind
get
of
over.
like
There's a lot, yeah, a lot of
what
what
goes through
ifs.
your head before the podcast?
I don't know. It's like, what if I don't know what to say? Or what if there's just so many things.
What
What
if
if
you do?
exactly? That's what I had to wrap my head around. It's
What
like,
if you do know what to say? But we can get going on telling ourselves, what if I don't know what to say? And what if I don't know what to
I
do?
know
But
you could try to play this whole scenario of a discussion out in your head, but it
the
just
exercise,
doesn't work.
it never gets you to where you want to go.
No.
So the exercise I had everybody do is like, what would you do today if you knew nobody would judge you? You'd get
Yeah,
up and you'd be a comedian. You'd get
you
up,
do it. Yeah.
you'd do what you want to do.
Hmm.
So it's kind of a little that's the exercise. Like instead of going to the gym and getting those pumps in,
Hmm.
the gym here is going over what if it did work out? Like what if it was fun? What if you just went in there and thought about the things that you love to do, like
Yeah,
inspire
and just
people.
talked about it.
Take an action. I want people to take action to what they want to do, whether it's lose weight, whether it's join us, whether it's
Yeah, definitely
you
join
know,
us.
it's possible to keep getting it going. So lack of self-belief really gets people going.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? I'll never be like them or they compare to other people. I said
Yeah.
self-doubt,
Let,
imposter syndrome,
hmm.
low self-worth. We've all been there.
Definitely.
You
Just
know,
worried about,
it's the only way to grow is by getting to that point where you're feeling that uncomfortable place.
right.
You
That
know,
definitely
what were you going to say?
that's definitely it. I mean, just growing when you're uncomfortable. It's like what needs to happen.
I'll never be like them. Why bother trying?
Yeah.
You people, a lot of myself included, whether
Hmm.
it be roller skating, that's another perfect example. I could be watching those roller skating videos and it's like, "Pff,
I can never do
I'm not
that.
going to get up
Hmm.
again." So it's like you have to think about the things that you've already been successful
Hmm.
at,
Yeah.
turn it around. Like I talked about last week, we started off kind of asking like what you did and how you became so good at what you did. So when you start thinking about things you're successful at already,
Right.
the job you got,
It's easy to,
the phone you're listening to. That
mhm.
was a successful thing for you to get the phone, to go
Yeah.
through those steps. But we kind of take that stuff for
We
granted.
do. We take a lot for granted. I'd like to run number three by this is a good one. I know when you just get overwhelmed with doing something, or
I think I
uh,
see you do this.
analysis paralysis,
I feel
perhaps.
like I see you do this a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
It's when someone feels like there's too many steps to take or
Well, it.
it gets too complex, it gets too overwhelming.
Mhm.
It immediately will stop you dead in your track.
Yeah.
This is a random thought I'm going to have. Sorry.
Oh,
Remember the book Mrs. Piggle Wiggles Can't Pick Up Cure that I would read to the kids?
barely, but yeah. I mean, I don't remember how it goes, but
It's
I
kind of some
remember
of
the
this in
book.
there. Like the kid is so overwhelmed by the mess in his room, he just doesn't know where
Where to
to
start?
start.
Seriously.
That is a real deal for everything. Sometimes it happens with, the pile of clothes you had going on,
Mm-hmm.
or you got so much information on all these diets and all this information, and
Or trying to come together with get some good stuff together for the podcast, you know?
there's
I
so
mean,
much to do.
sometimes I have overthinking and analysis paralysis. I feel like um like like I'm trying to study for an exam, if that's a good way to put it, where I'm like,
When you studied for an exam, you seemed much smoother about it. Like you
"Yeah,
were, none of that bothered you.
no, I know.
Can you believe
This is different.
we went to college together?
I know, but this is different. This is like not an
That was
exam,
fun.
and it's going to be there for people to watch and listen to.
Oh,
And
this.
the podcast I'm talking about.
So I already
Yeah,
know.
college was fun, sure.
Hold on. Don't lose that thought. Remember that time we were on our way to school and you had those Velcro pants on? We'll go back to that.
Okay.
Something got stuck on there.
Oh my
So
gosh, yeah,
anyway,
that was ridiculous.
um, now I lost my train of
That's
thought.
all right.
So that's okay.
It was analysis paralysis, really is a good term for that. When you're just like just you got your information, you gotta like really do it and start and go after what you're going
How
after.
do you get over that?
Um, I mean, really, I
You get stuck. How do you get out of that with
well,
work or, you got your own business?
I know. Well, you can only go like that is actually a good thing because if I'm like searching for, oh, I need this certain material, some stainless steel. Recently, I was looking for it's like a bitch to find. It's super expensive. So I'm going and I'm looking and I'm checking different price and I'm checking over here and then I'm checking over
What
there. I'm
kind of
like,
material?
I
Hold
need to
on.
order this stuff because the job due date's coming up. Like I can't search anymore. Here's the cheapest one. It's quickest delivery. Just order it. I'm not gonna look to save $5 more. Isn't gonna. You just gotta like
What do you
enough's enough and go for it.
Let me give them a little bit of detail about what you're buying though. Like what are you searching for?
I needed some 440C stainless steel.
Stainless steel. And
Yeah.
what do you got to do? Like look at all
I
these
gotta make
websites
some
like
part. Yeah, yeah,
price check.
exactly. Yep. Price going here, everywhere.
How
Different ones online, other ones I'm emailing to get a quote for how much the material is for what I need.
how do you get to the conclusion where I just have to buy this one?
I was like, I was waiting and waiting, for a couple more emails to come in, and I just had to take like the lowest price that was the best delivery time because now it's the date is closer to do these parts, so I gotta like get it. And
So you're telling me you were thinking of the outcome?
yeah, yeah, that's what I was
See what I
thinking
did
of.
there?
Yeah, yeah,
See what I did there? You got to think about the outcome of things.
yeah,
You know what
and
I
that
mean?
got me moving.
This podcast stuff was new for
Hmm.
us. We've
Yeah.
got the weight loss thing down. We've kept it off 12 years later, 150 pounds. We've started the business. It's going, it's taking off. I feel like, there's always going to be obstacles. All the failures I take as like, yes, we're going to learn something from this because it's going to happen anyway. But
Hmm.
this podcast stuff is new for us.
It's definitely new, and I go at it like a guy. I'm like, I don't know anything about it, but you go to assemble something and you just throw the instructions away and just do it. Like that's a lot of guys do
Is
that. And
that's how
I
you're
didn't look at anything out of line of how to do this. I'm just
of how to
like,
do the podcast?
right. I mean, a little bit. Okay, what thing do we get
Right. Well,
for to record on and stuff?
we
And
immediately I went on Amazon and I bought microphones and
hmm
somebody right away who has experience said, "Do you want to look like you know what you're doing or do you want to have like toy
hmm
microphones or something like that?" I was like, "Well, I don't want toy microphones
No,
because, you know,
it looked legit,
it
but
looked legit,
all
but
right.
my outcome is I genuinely want to do a good job about
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And I know everything can't be perfect, but if I could take an opportunity to get better microphones.
Mm.
And I didn't want to analysis paralysis. So I just went, boom, I'll do it.
Yep. Yep.
And
Cancel that order. Get these. We didn't even see the new stuff. It didn't show up.
it did show
Oh, it
up.
did? I don't even remember.
Yeah, it showed up and I had to return it. I was like, I'll just get
Oh,
another, the struggle is
nice.
real when you have analysis paralysis and you're trying to figure out where to start, how to start, where to go. And the steps that we're bringing right in front of you is how it's going. I didn't have the sign. We didn't have the
Yeah.
right stuff. Last week we talked about intrinsic motivation. That
Yeah.
was a
Wow.
great episode. Like
That
everybody,
was.
it's still blowing up right now as
It
we're
is.
talking about it.
Mhm.
Well, because it's real.
It is real.
It's really relatable. You know what I mean? I'm not coming in here and telling people, hey, if you do this and you do this, it's like I want to explain. I've been through it quite a few times,
Exactly.
and you're watching us. This is I don't want to say an experiment because I already expect it to go good.
Right. But this was just like here's a good thing. Here, watch. This is how we're going to do it. We're going to just do it. We're going to figure it out. We're going to not worry about fear of failure. We're going to get over our lack of self-belief. And I'm going to like chill on analysis paralysis.
The
I'm still going to prepare, but not over like
Well,
too much.
here's what I was going to say about the fear. I already know from my own experience, you're going to go back and you're going to cringe, you know, of how this all started.
Hmm.
And I wanted to keep going like that because that means we've gotten better at something.
Oh yeah.
So I'm accepting of the fact that these are all cringe. What
Yeah.
are they doing? Well, we're practicing
Yeah.
on how to keep getting better at it.
That's life.
And 1,063 pounds have come off, and the numbers are up on
I
the
think we're
views.
doing good.
And I'm
Yeah,
excited by this. So we want to just keep
definitely.
having fun and we just want to keep talking about it. So the cringe effect. Speaking of cringe effect, um, I mentioned about us going to school.
Hmm.
So we had some time, and I was like, you know what? We should go to school. I needed to get better at my English.
Yeah, I
I,
needed to learn how to use commas.
yeah. So we were like, you know what? We should do it together. We thought it would be fun.
It was.
And this
Mhm.
is the thing that was so random that we were talking about. We were walking into school and you were wearing those shorts with the Velcro.
Oh my gosh.
Does anybody, we can't be the only ones
No,
that this
I
happened
know,
to.
I know. I'm
Ridiculous.
walking in. I'm like, what is flipping along my arm here? And here it is, a pair of her underwear stuck on my Velcro.
Anybody's underwear. It's just those pants that have the Velcro stuff stuck on it. I
Hmm.
had that happen to me today and I was like, do you remember that? Anyway,
Yeah, that was
oh my
ridiculous.
gosh. I know we're not the only ones that's happened to.
Yeah, but it was good. They were cargo shorts, so I could just shove them right in the pocket.
You got to
That
be
was
careful with
the-
that kind of
You got to
stuff.
really check yourself before you wreck
You
yourself.
got to be careful. Emotional. We talked a little bit this last week about emotional burnout. That's another thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like stress, it's depression, unresolved emotions, it's drained energy. This happens all the time. It can
Hmm.
happen. Like, I just don't have it in me right now. The reason why I talked about this is because it was relatable to the very beginning. I'd given up so much hope on, I just thought this is just the way it's going to be. I've been dieting my whole life. I've been struggling with everything. I
Hmm.
see so many people on these diets. That's what I mean about this, the industry. This is the biggest industry. But if those diets worked, we wouldn't see the obesity epidemic that we have
Right.
and the chronic disease epidemic that we have. That's why I want to talk more about this. I mean, those things are not working. Sure, you can lose weight doing some of that stuff, but people, myself included, John, you too,
Hmm.
you were with me doing it. The weight always comes back, and that's not how people are reversing disease.
Exactly. We're not supposed to keep losing the same 20 pounds.
I
You
know we're
know?
talking about just the number of pounds lost, but it doesn't show the full extent of the amount of life that's gained that's going on over here.
Exactly.
I mean, we're really just talking about the surface.
Yeah, I mean that what goes along with all that weight loss. I mean, and that's just something we can measure, but like you're saying, the amount of life people are gaining is just incredible. Because we're hearing about it. People are roller skating, people are on their bikes, people are going
Is that the
kayaking, people are
kitty?
going out and doing things and really living life, and that's exciting.
That is exciting. They're really, that was inspiring on the Saturday support group. More and more
Mhm.
people come. Is that the kitty?
I didn't hear nothing.
All right, maybe sorry, kitty, we'll be there in a minute.
Is he
Um,
trying to get in?
If he starts scratching, I'll let you know. I don't think I can hear it. Um, it's hard when I think back and I didn't have it in me to do stuff. And how do you get started when you have stuff like that going on? What's one way when for instance, this podcast, it is
Mm.
it is work. It
Yeah.
would be easy to say, you know what? I'm just not going to do it. I'm going to sit around and do nothing.
Yeah.
What keeps you going after that? What gets you recharged?
Well,
It,
the numbers. If
ex
you're asking
it
me the
goes
question,
right back to that intrinsic
it,
motivation. Like it's inspiring. There he is
it's
scratching.
seeing the needle move.
Whoopsie
It's
daisy. We're going to take a
excitement.
breaky. Um, we're going to let Kitty in. He loves us. Listen to him. He's got something to say. Um, he just wants to be, he just wants to be comfy cozy in here with
Yeah,
us.
it's warm in
These are
here.
some of the things that stop people, or people have procrastination, us included. That's why we're talking about it or sharing. Like, how do we get over all this? Because once we get done with this podcast and we keep seeing these numbers coming in, and
Yeah,
people keep joining in and saying they're losing weight and feeling great, that's exciting. That's what makes me want to keep getting in here.
definitely.
A lot of people, you have to ask yourself in those moments where it just feels like it's too much, or where do I begin from there? You have to go into those very small things that keep you motivated. You know
Mm.
what I mean?
Yeah.
The little wins or the outcome. Now Kitty's on the lap. Kitty's on the lap.
He's all right.
We
He's good.
we didn't want you being upset out there,
Yeah,
Kitty.
buddy. Oh.
This is Axel Rose. Whoa, he's bumping his face up against everything. Well, I'll just go on to the next one. I talked about comfort and familiarity.
Yeah.
That's a easy one to get stuck into. The brain's wired to seek comfort. Even, it was easy for me to stay sick. And I convinced
Hmm.
myself all the time, like, hey, everybody else is sick.
That's right.
Everybody else is, getting bigger and as they get older. And you just start getting comfortable with being sick. And that's one of the things I talk about all the time is,
Well, definitely, you don't really know. I mean, we didn't know. Like, this is just how life was because
well, exactly.
everybody's going through all the same stuff, and it just seemed like it's so normal to be sick.
I think that, well, it's like I say, we've gotten comfortable with being sick.
Hmm.
We've gotten comfortable with being sick. And I just want to, most people don't know how, but even when they have the tools, they don't, you know what I mean? So I just want to keep working on this stuff. So each
Definitely getting out of that comfort
getting out
zone,
of that comfort zone.
definitely is how you can how you grow, really.
And we are growing from this too.
Definitely.
We're talking about that unplugged as well. Like
Hmm.
we're communicating better. We're getting better at what we're doing. He's making it distracting. I am not going to lie.
I know. He's fine. He'll lay down.
Okay, Axel, go lay down. Kitty, go lay down. How about negative self-talk?
Oh
How does
man.
that come in here?
Yeah, just you know what? I'm not gonna be able. I just can't. As soon as I start something off, I'm like, oh man, I can't do this or whatever it is.
Don't
Just
you think that comes across even when you first were looking for a job, or everything you do? We all have that.
it's just
What if this doesn't work out?
again with the what ifs.
What do
Like
you do to get out of it?
I just think of good stuff that I've done, and I really pump myself up. You know,
Here he goes.
that's it. He just want to come in
That's
and
a big part
visit.
of the show. Should we shut the door so we
Yeah,
don't
I'll
hear
take care
anything?
of it.
Okay, sorry. Everything doesn't always go smooth. That's the other, that's something we always talk about. Everything doesn't always go smooth, but we're going to keep going through. You know what the statistics are for people who get past the 10th episode, by the way?
No,
It's it's
because a
not
lot
easy.
don't.
A lot
You
of
know.
people don't, and this is exactly why people don't. These little things, negative self-talk that get in your
Hmm.
mind like, okay, great, that's going to be great. The cat came in here. People are going to
Yeah,
lose interest. You know what? We're going to keep on going through it.
that's
This
right.
is that moment right there that you just don't give up.
You just
Everything isn't going to be
exactly,
perfect, but I
exactly.
got my sign. See how I do that?
Yeah,
But I got the
definitely.
sign.
It's awesome. I love it. I do. I love the logo. It was really great. I'm like, that is so awesome.
The whole way I did the plug,
Yep,
everything.
yep.
Well,
And
this is supposed to be unplugged, but here I am talking
it's
about the
unplugged.
very stuff that, but it's because it's relatable to what how we're doing what we're doing. Is that a good way to put it?
Yeah, definitely, because we're using all the coaching skills, all the stuff that
We know
you
people can
learned.
do it.
That's how we live our life. That's why it like is how good it is that you're helping people. We're doing all these things too.
We know that people can do it,
Hmm.
but you lose hope because you get so overwhelmed with some of this stuff
Yeah.
and that you don't have immediate gratification.
Yeah, that's another thing too.
This is a big
Without
one.
seeing, something right away, you
It's
got
hard.
it's hard to stay motivated.
And, you first put out a podcast, it's like one view.
Mm.
What? One listener? That's hard to keep going
Yeah,
when
yeah.
you're banking on, I need to have 10,000 listeners all the way, or you don't get to see the 10 pounds that you wanted to lose, or you don't see the results all the way.
Yeah.
I talked a little bit this week about a weird way of saying sometimes people who I work with who have diabetes,
Hmm.
we see that turn around really fast because they get to see the results right away. The diabetes, that turning around insulin resistance is something that they get to watch happen really
Yeah,
quick.
they're sugar numbers. I mean, it changes with every meal, and if it just keeps getting better and better and better, it's like, wow, I'm gonna
There's
keep
a
doing this,
lot
gonna keep
more
doing this.
motivation when we have stuff like
Hmm.
that.
Yeah.
The immediate reward system is what our brain revolves around.
Hmm.
So it is hard. This is the week of the year. Everybody starts diets, everybody starts going to the
Hmm.
gym, and this is the week that people start falling off. This is the
Yeah.
reasons why they're not seeing the relief, the
The
instant
results.
results.
Yeah, yeah.
It takes weeks to be in the gym getting that down. And if your diet isn't right,
Mm.
then that's going to happen.
It's like even more.
Everybody's starving themselves too.
Oh,
We had a lot of talk about that this week.
yeah.
That when I brought up that 5 pounds of fat, and
Definitely.
that was,
You brought out that. It's like, holy smokes. I mean, just
well, here it is. It's
Mhm.
a number one reason why people are sick is because of malnutrition.
Yeah.
We're not getting nearly as enough nutrition as we should be getting, and we covered that in this week's class about fiber. That's
Oh, yeah.
nutrition, you guys. Everybody's worried about your protein, which is what we'll be talking about this week
Yep,
in class,
yep.
the myth busting of protein and calcium. But last week we talked a lot about fiber, which is what's missing from everybody's diet. If you think about how much your fiber you're getting in right now,
That's the
it
real MVP, really.
it is the real
Fiber is
MVP.
so freaking important to clean you up and rev your body and
N-
really get your body living and dumping out toxins and pumping
It's
up your metabolism.
this is where that going 100%, if you're listening right now and you're not seeing
Mhm.
the results and you've got all the tools you need and you're looking for that one little thing, that one little secret sauce, it's going to be fiber. I know that seems crazy
Yeah,
that I'm bringing it up right now, but fiber is why I'm in this room right now.
really.
Yeah.
Really, it is. Actually, when you think about
No,
it,
really, it
because
It really is. It's what turned everything around. Once you start eating all these fruits and vegetables, whole grains, legumes, I mean, somebody might be listening to this thinking, all right, she's really like losing it. But just hear me out. This is the full circle right here of when I started eating all that fruits, vegetables, whole grains, beans, legumes,
Mhm.
don't worry about the recipes. I just wanted to get this good fuel in me. That fiber is what feeds the gut bacteria, the good stuff that changes the way that your mood is, the stuff that gives you energy, the stuff that makes me think of these cool signs, the stuff that brings me self confidence because I saw immediate results when I started eating so much fiber. It revs up your metabolism, it gets your mitochondria boosted, it
That's right.
opens up those arteries that have been clogged by all that saturated fat, all that cholesterol that's coming from animals, which, by the way, no animal, dairy, meat, cheese, egg, shrimp, any of that stuff has fiber.
Yeah, wow.
The real MVP. Did I get it all in there?
That's what you
John is
did. You
like at
did. And I'm like,
attention as soon
whoa.
as I start going off. Well, I'm
Okay.
looking at the clock
Well,
and I'm like,
great.
I don't know
Great.
if I've said it enough. I know that this is unplugged. I know that we're finding our way through all of this.
Hmm.
But our main goal here, our main mission is we're John and Stephanie.
Yeah. We're
We
just like
we did it and we just want to inspire everybody to get healthy too. And we know a lot of
Exactly.
people are thinking about getting healthy. So don't be like, who do they think they're talking
Yeah,
to? I'm talking to you because we should all be eating more fruits and vegetables and we should all be getting the right information. Don't take my word for it. The research is out there.
that's right. So we don't have to do it.
That's what I'm saying. We're not here to write the research. We're here to teach it. And that's what we're really crushing each week. And we're coming in here and we're talking about 1,063 pounds, heart
Seriously.
disease reversed, diabetes reversed, hypothyroid, Hashimoto's, angina, like
That's right.
eczema, inflammation.
And all the medicines are like down to zero dealing with all those diseases,
Are we
which is
having a hard
awesome.
time unplugging? Sometimes, yeah, it's a
A little
little
bit.
exciting what's
We
going
love
on.
doing this.
I want to talk more about it and I can't stop. So my reward system, when I see the numbers blowing up, that
Hmm.
keeps me going. But in the beginning, I had to think about the little stuff like, hey, my business all started off with one person coming to class one
That's
time
right.
too.
That's right.
So I go back and I think about that, even when I was losing weight.
Hmm.
Well, I lost 5 pounds. I got to think about what I did do.
That's right.
Lack of immediate reward is what stops a lot of people from popping off the
A
gym
lot,
lately.
a lot. Yeah,
Everybody.
yeah.
It's going to take a minute. Don't forget you've been going every week. Don't forget you've been going every other day,
Hmm.
and stop comparing yourself to other people.
Oh man.
Comparisons paralysis is number 8 on my list.
Comparisons are really a killer of like
Seeing others succeed
motivation. Yeah, it can really put you down, and if you're not in the right headspace,
makes you feel inadequate.
you can do it too.
If I was watching Joe Rogan all day long thinking that I was going to wake up and see those kind of numbers,
Yeah.
I would have never done this.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
I know. I know. You got to just do your thing
It
and go at it wholeheartedly.
I didn't wake up and say, we're going to the top today. I said, we're going to keep on going. We're going to keep
Hmm.
on getting better at this. So leave your comments, leave your,
Yeah,
leave your thoughts. Tell us how you like the podcast.
definitely.
We'd love to hear everybody eating their plants off or eating more
I
plants.
love it.
So I guess after we got into the health report all the way,
Hmm.
I just want to to break down, empower people and break down exactly how they can overcome that and how we're using these same tools to keep plowing through when things aren't perfect or when we're feeling like, you know what? How are we going to keep on doing this? Well, number one, start small. You've
Yeah,
got to build momentum.
I love it.
Instead of saying you're going to go to the gym this week, a lot of people are like, all right, I'm not losing weight. I mean, I'm not seeing my muscles. So,
Hmm.
now I'm going to go to the gym every day, 10 times a day. Rethink that. You know what I mean? These small things that you have been doing, these small wins every day, that's what leads to the big stuff. So, consistency, consistency.
That's what really pays
We're going to
off.
keep on coming in here. We're going to keep on getting through this the
Heck
same
yeah,
way we kept on getting through all the other stuff. Start
definitely.
small, build momentum. That's how everything works.
Hmm.
Address the inner critic. Do
Oh man, even
that
if
the
you got to take them out in the back alley and kick their ass.
You've got to reframe the negative thinking into
Yeah,
an empowering statement. I got this. I'm not
thank you.
failing. I'm learning.
Thank you. You've helped me with that. Having the you can do it, John, kind of a
I
thing. And
mean,
that pumped me up.
what
I
would
get
you
excited.
say?
You can do it. You can do it. And really, you got to quit beating yourself up. You got to think about good things that you've done and really pump it up. Get yourself rocking and rolling.
You have to, and you can. And I mean, you don't have to do it alone. That's what we're doing over here,
Yeah,
honestly.
exactly. It's all together with, let me tell you how you really could do it is by joining Plantspiration because we have an excellent community.
Check it out.
Our community is great. We all get together. We talk
If
about
you're in
things
here
and we
watching
just
this
love it.
or listening to this about getting
Hmm.
healthy, what's really nice when I hear people say, I thought I could do this alone, or I have all the
Right,
information, and I
right.
know, I knew that this is what I was going to do. What I'm talking about in today's episode is exactly the work that I do with people to overcome the obstacles to make these habits stick. That's why everybody's, coming here, seeing the success
Hmm.
and or maintaining it, you know what I mean? Or using and applying these tools to keep on going towards things that bring them
And they're
joy.
doing it. They're doing it. I'm seeing the results. I
Look at
see
the
it
numbers
every week, not just the numbers, but people actually talking about it in a sport group is amazing.
because they're They're learning to focus on their why.
because you're crushing it.
Well,
You're
you are
helping
too.
them. You're
Well,
helping them.
you're helping me be able to help them. You know what I mean?
Perfect.
It's this whole thing that we just keep
I'll
focusing
take
on.
that.
We'll
I'll
take the
take
good
that.
stuff. Has everything been perfect this
Of
week?
course not.
Has everything been awesome, happy, jumpity, skippity every day?
No, I had to take that other car back to the shop.
That's right. You had to deal with
Yeah,
that again.
you
Car
didn't
troubles.
even know. It was just that.
That was great.
No stress.
You have to focus on your why.
Hmm.
I mean, and I wake up and I look at these numbers and immediately I'm like, you know why? Because these have got to be bigger. These have got to be bigger. More people need to hear that they can do this too. And this is where the education, the motivation, and
And
the
the
inspiration is
inspiration
coming
is,
from.
yep.
Normalize the fear. That's number 4 on my list of ways to conquer this procrastination. Did it ever occur to you to just sit here and go, you know what? I'm not great at this right now, but I'm getting better.
Oh, yeah. You kind of have to do that.
Doesn't it make it easier?
Yeah, definitely. Because if you're thinking I'm going to be perfect in it, it's really going to be a hard time.
What will this change give you when you start talking positive about whatever it is? So, like when you're thinking, like, oh, this, I'm overwhelmed by all this. Or, if we were talking about the podcast, like,
Hmm.
I'm overwhelmed by all this. If you were to think, what will doing this change?
It's going to change.
It already has.
Yeah, I mean, it's like not what it's gonna, it is
It's
changing.
already changing lives just by
Yeah.
talking more about this. Give me
Yeah.
some.
I mean, yeah.
My number 5 list of how to crush, overcome that action resistance and how to get things going is you have to create accountability. That
You
is,
do. You do.
we had each other as a family
Yes.
for the weight loss. We had all 5 of us doing this, encouraging each other, having accountability.
Yeah.
That made it easy. For my business, I got a mentor.
Right.
Shout out to my mentor, Paul from SCORE.
All right.
Love that nonprofit. That
Heck
is
yeah.
accountability. That makes me want to be a
Hmm.
better CEO and entrepreneur.
And I see people, they're having a great time and just talking about it. Like this community, the group, you guys, everybody here is really,
This
really,
is next level accountability.
yes. People are crushing it. They're like, this is like no other group I've ever been in,
Do
and
things
this
a
is
little different.
really, it's excellent support. We're in there doing it with you. We're not talking
Well,
down
I've
to you.
turned it into like a homework support. That's
Hmm.
why people are winning every week. They're winning stuff every week. And this has been going on for years.
Yeah.
And when they hand in their homework, or what did
Hmm.
I say this week? You came running in the garage. You
Oh,
were like,
that was a
you
great one. That was
nailed
great.
it.
How did you say that? You said, this isn't just a typical Facebook group. Like, I don't want to see memes about something cool. I want to see you doing it and
I want to
posting
see you
you
doing
doing it.
something cool,
Yeah.
even if it's eating one banana, which is exactly what I want to see is the normalcy of this is what's going on in our
Yeah.
life. And
Yeah.
that's why everybody's like really, you know, don't worry about being scared or overwhelmed. Everybody starts somewhere. And I keep reminding people that. So they're getting more comfortable with that.
Yeah.
We've created the accountability. They're using it in the group. All of these things are playing into
Well, also, yeah,
what were you going to say?
I'm going to say they're also playing into the dopamine hits and
Big
stuff
time.
because they're posting, they feel good about
Big time.
posting, the likes are coming in good. Other people are getting ideas. Oh, wow. Oh, I can make that or I can do this or whatever. People are really, really living life and talking about how great
We
they're
can't
doing
stop
it.
talking about the
That's
winning.
right. So
We
get
can't
on that
stop
Google
talking about the
review.
winning.
I love it.
The big thing we also saw this week and what I've used in the past with working with people is visualization.
Yeah.
There's evidence behind all that stuff. And the people who are making those vision boards, which we talked about
Mm-hmm.
vision, which, years ago was like, what? I'm not doing that. But the evidence behind it and having a visualization,
Mm-hmm.
that's how you activate the motivation and the positivity. When you start seeing what you're capable of, or what you can do, that's a big part of it. And I'm not going to stop talking about this stuff because everybody's capable. Sometimes we got to hear it a few
Mm-hmm.
times. I did not just wake up overnight and just make poof, poof, all this stuff happened.
No, no
You know
doubt.
what I mean? And I'm still facing obstacles and I still know that everything isn't going to go great. But I'm leaning into the fact that I'm not afraid of failure. I'm not
That's
afraid of
just how we're
things going
learning.
wrong. Yeah. And I want everybody to feel that too. It drives us.
Heck yeah.
But break that cycle of inaction. That was the last thing.
Yeah.
And I straight up learned this from Mel Robbins years ago. That 5 4 3 2 1 method. I know it's big talk right now.
Mm.
Everybody's talking about it. She made it out there. She's got everybody. That's what I mean.
Mm.
You can take these steps.
Yeah.
And it really makes things happen. So if you're listening to this and you're thinking, you know what, I should eat more fruits and vegetables, or I should join that class, or "Yeah, I want all the classes, I should just join the whole Plantspiration, or I want to work out." You really do have to do this work and just go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now just stand
Do
up.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And if it didn't work the first time, that doesn't mean you can't keep going at it.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we
Love
got to
it.
motivate ourselves to get going. And I know, and listen to me, I know that's hard. There's a lot of stuff that gets in the way of getting to the things we want, and it's hard to dig past it, the stuff that's been holding us back.
That's right.
But I want you to just think of the wins and the positive stuff and the good thing you have on and the gratitude. And that's why we start off with gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
But I hope today talking about this, or maybe taking a minute of gratitude, like I'm grateful that you were listening to this.
Yeah.
I'm grateful that you took the time to listen to this. That means so much right now that you're listening to this. And it means that you can do this too. Take one step at a time, one day at a time. Eat your plants off, get that fiber in. This turned into a whole show about eating your plants off.
It should. This is great. I think we're good.
It's
I mean,
because
I
I'm so
got
excited that,
questions here.
oh, yeah, bring on the
Let me
questions.
throw a
And thank you
question
guys,
at
by
you.
the way.
Yeah, thanks for
Fiber is the
sticking
real,
around.
fiber's awesome, and
Mhm.
fiber's awesome.
I just have a quickie here. How do you balance running a nonprofit, coaching, and family life? Do you have any tips for time management?
A schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Off the top of my head. So I love a schedule the same way that I would schedule my doctor's appointments so fanatically. I
Mm-hmm.
just, again, using what I'm talking about,
That's right.
thinking about the stuff that did work for me. I realized that if I want to block out time to watch my trash TV shows or to go for a bike ride, I had to start blocking out time. And I feel more free than ever. At the first, I thought, like, this is going to feel really constricting. You can do whatever you want. Okay. So don't be afraid to change the rules as you go along.
For blocking out time.
I love blocking out time. And
Nice.
at first, what I did was I just kind of wrote down when my consistency started happening. Like, when was I scheduling most of my calls? How could I block off more time if this is the time that's working for me?
Mm-hmm.
When was it easiest for me to get the most people in my life? It wasn't 100% right away. It was a very, you know what? If it doesn't work out, we'll figure out what does.
Yeah,
And
you
so
kind of live and learn with that's how you went at it, you know?
I love
Well,
blocking
try
out
this
time.
and mm-hmm.
I love blocking out time. And I also love using um, I already forgot the name of it, Pomodoro method.
Oh, yeah, I don't know that
Did
word.
I say it wrong? Something else came into play and I thought about it, but the method of 20-minute timers.
Ah,
So
right,
I do
right, right.
20-minute timers all the time, or I put a quick cap on my showers so that I
Mm-hmm.
don't get lost in ideas because I get a lot of thinking going
Oh, I
on.
know.
Jane's addiction, standing in the shower thinking, like, that is a constant. So I have to put a timer on so I can get out and take action.
Definitely. I just go and throw on a 7 minute song
You do.
somewhere
You're
around
good
there.
about
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I also love to do time lapse on some of my bigger house cleaning projects
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
to stay more focused.
Heck yeah.
Pomodoro technique.
I don't know. I think that's it.
Don't call me out if it's wrong. I make mistakes. That's human. But those are the top. I did kind of go
Oh,
back to
yeah,
what you were
yeah, you
saying.
did. Yeah, you did. No, I was just looking at this other question. It's almost the same
Bring it.
answer. What's the best piece of advice you've ever received about goal setting or personal growth?
Lauren, my best
That
friend, telling
that
me to
that
block
was
out time.
blackout time.
I
That's
was
so
literally
funny.
sitting on the floor, practically crying, saying, I want and so relatable.
Hmm.
I want this. I want a business. I want to make this happen. I already started the name Plantspiration. I already
Yeah,
had an idea, and I want this. And I just didn't know, like, how was I going to make this happen? I expected that, the whole family was going to come in and everybody was going to build this up and make this happen. And
yeah.
I soon realized the only person that's going to do it is me. You know what I mean? You
Oh, yeah,
supported me the whole,
yeah. Well,
like, you
yeah.
were a big part of this,
Right.
but I needed to get the foundation and enough work and enough stuff to finally say, okay, now I
Yeah.
really need some help. But in the very beginning, when I didn't know where to begin, and this was so overwhelming, and the same rules apply when I was losing weight, I had to just focus on that very minute and think, I have to just block out time. And she said, block out time to work on the business.
Hmm.
And I was like, that's actually genius.
Yeah.
So I literally set an appointment at a certain time of the day where I was going to research and, look into
Yeah.
how to grow a business and how to do that. And I use the same techniques today for the podcast. I spend a little bit of time that I block out of reading up on, some of the information that I keep looking at and I'm like, okay, I could do this better or we could do
Right.
that. Or
Right.
you know what? This means we're doing good with this. And the numbers show.
Definitely. I got one last question here.
Wow, I
I
didn't know
think this,
this.
well, just will roll us right into this week's class. What's your response to people who worry about getting enough protein on a plant-based diet? Besides coming to class this Wednesday.
Did you plan that? Because that is what class is about
I
protein.
know I didn't. I saw a question and I picked that question.
America's
Yeah.
obsessed with protein. It's a
Hmm.
marketing technique. I mean,
I think the world.
look in the stores right now. You walk in, no matter what holiday, they've got the
Man, oh
junk right
man.
in front.
Hmm.
Marketing. Same concept is going with the protein. We have a misunderstanding about protein. We've These high protein
Seriously.
diets are not what's
No.
they're not helping people's health, by the way.
That's hard on a lot of systems
It's hard
and
on
your
your kidneys.
kidneys.
Even
Yeah.
high amounts of plant protein are high on the
Oh yeah,
kidneys.
protein, any kind, but
Animal protein is
is the
problematic.
worst.
Animal protein is
It's
problematic.
crazy.
We know that this is what promotes cancers,
Yeah, it's
heart disease,
terrible.
diabetes,
Hmm.
autoimmunes. But we're going to talk in this week's class about well, that was the number one thing I asked our daughter when she wanted to go vegan. I said, where are you going to get your protein? Where are you going to
That's
get your
a
calcium?
lot of people's question right out the gate.
We're going to
Those
cover
two.
that.
Yep.
You're going to leave
Yep.
this class and you're going to feel confident in what you're doing
That's
because I
right.
didn't get shredded, or end up in the emergency room from lack of protein.
Yeah, no.
Nobody's in the protein deficiency wing out there.
No, they don't even have one.
Give me some. This was a long day.
This
We've
was
made
great.
it. This
Yeah.
was a long day. But we've made a commitment to keep getting this information out and sharing with people that this is something that they're not teaching you in school. They're not teaching medical students about root cause of disease. The
That's
evidence
right.
is out there. Don't take our word for it. But we've got a bunch of people losing thousands of pounds over here, reversing disease and really changing not just their diet, but their lifestyle.
That's it.
And we can't wait to talk about it. And that's why we started this. And we're grateful that you're tuning in.
That's right. I'm so grateful you guys are here.
Yeah. What are we having for dinner tonight?
I don't know. Might be a cabbage bowl, might
We're going
be
to do a big cabbage
pasta,
bowl.
maybe. Who knows?
Ooh, pasta. It's so
Mm.
cold. It's like 20 below
I
zero
like
over here.
pasta and peas.
Pasta and peas.
Maybe.
All the
We'll see.
cheesy
Without
without
the
the diseasey.
diseasey.
Eating healthy doesn't have to be boring,
That's
and
right.
eating your plants off.
Doesn't have to be hard.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in today.
Heck yeah.
We want to get you back to eating your plants off. Thank you so much for taking the time. All the proceeds from the videos watched, the memberships bought, the
Mhm.
classes purchased, all those monies go right back into helping other people at Plantspiration, whether it
That's
be
right.
memberships, classes, food, supplies. We just want to help more people get healthy and take them on that highway to health journey.
That's right.
Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and eat more fruits and vegetables, which it's clear that we need to get our tank full of fiber right now because I
Yeah,
could feel
let's
it.
do it. I am
We love
so
you guys so
stoked.
much. Have a wonderful day, and we hope to see you in our class soon, learning how to eat your plants off too.
Definitely. You guys have a good one.
Keep on being the inspiration the world needs to see. Look at this, more weight loss. We can't
I
wait
know.
to see you next
It's
week to
awesome.
tell you about more numbers and how to crush it. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.